Hi, this is Bob Leahy from PositiveLite.com, and we're at the North American Housing and HIV/AIDS Research Summit here in New Orleans. And we're talking to James Watson. Is it Jim or James? James. Okay. Now, James is in charge of an interesting program with the OHTN, and it's to do with peer research assistants. We sometimes say PRAs. Is that right, James?
Yes, PRAs.
Tell me what a PRA is.
Well, it's a peer research assistant, so it's a person living with HIV, interviewing people living with HIV for community-based research projects.
Okay, and what kind of thing? How many do you have in the Ontario HIV Treatment Network right now?
Well, we have about 26.
26, that's a lot.
22
yes.
26. So we,
yes.
I coordinate the Positive Spaces, Healthy Places.
Right, and we'll talk about that in a minute. How common is this, say, in North America, to have people living with HIV actually participating in research?
Well, I think it's becoming more and more common. I would say in Ontario, there's probably about, the Ontario HIV Treatment Network is sort of leading the way in this.
Right.
But
yes.
the actual study, as we're going to, go ahead.
Yeah. So in Canada, is it fair to say we are leaders in this?
Yes, I would
and
say.
in Ontario in particular.
Absolutely.
That's good. Now, you yourself, you're a person living with HIV,
yes.
and you started, I think, you're a coordinator now, but you started as a PRA. Tell me how that happened. Were you one of the first, or?
Well, yes, I think I was. I was hired in the original group of peer research assistants in the Positive Spaces study, and yeah.
So, and tell me, the Positive Spaces Healthy. Let me get it right. You say it for me.
Positive Spaces Healthy.
I have a lot of trouble with that. I'm not sure why. Just tell us briefly. I know what that's about, but PositiveLite readers may not. Just tell us what that project is about.
Well, it's about housing and health. So it's about looking into the correlation between housing and the state of your housing stability, and you know, whether your house is like your home, okay. Whether your neighborhood, that sort of thing.
Okay. Tell me, how does this fit in, do you see, with JIPA? JIPA is the greater involvement of people living with HIV. Do you see this as an example of JIPA in action?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I think that when you are key to a project's success, or when you believe in what you are doing, I think that your quality of life improves, you're employed, I think that and your connection to the community.
Yes. I wanted to ask you that because this morning you had, I guess I'd call them success stories of the positive impact on the lives of people who participated as PRAs. Tell me some of the things that you were just starting to go into that in terms of how it's impacted on the lives of people who participated in this program.
Well, I think it has a lot to do with connection to community and isolation, getting out of isolation. I think
right.
a lot of times you can turn internally and look at your disease and look at only your virus. When you reach out to the community, I think you start getting connected to other people, and I think that has a lot to do with the improvement of quality of life.
And James, you told your own personal story that you were in assisted housing yourself, and I think you said this is not the life you were picturing, and so it made quite a positive impact on your own life too. Do you want to talk about that?
Well, it really changed my life. I felt trapped in a place I couldn't get out of. I was on Ontario disability supports, and I couldn't seem to get out of that place. And working hired as a peer research assistant allowed me to start to believe in myself and get my self-confidence back, and gave me an avenue to move my life forward. And then it gave me the confidence to return to school as well. And
you're at school too now?
Well, I was.
Oh, you went to school?
Yes, I went back to school for community development, and was hired out of school to coordinate the project I'd started in as a peer research assistant. Right.
Okay. James, you have a nice personal story and also a success story for the OHTN initiative. PRAs, I think you've identified that how useful they are and how productive they are, and also how gratifying they are for people who are participating. I want to thank you for your work doing that, and thank you for talking to PositiveLite.com.
Thank you very much.
Cool. Thank you. See, that didn't hurt, did it?
Oh, no.